Warm hello, everyone. I am feeling a lot of joy today. I do recording of all the videos on Tuesday. I choose Tuesday. I mean, it kind of naturally just fit into my calendar, but I really love recording all the videos on Tuesday because they say that Tuesday is the day of the pink ray. And the pink ray has to do with love. And I love bringing in that supportive spiritual energy of love for my communications out to you and with you because I'm very much in connection with you every time I am recording one of these videos. So I just spent a solid 30 minutes going out and looking at comments happening in the YouTube channel under the videos. And so I'm wanting to just allow the sort of percolation within me from having spent, that 30 minutes. And again, my apologies for some copy and paste responses to some of you. I hope you understand. I am trying to figure out how to be present with all the comments and also deal with the fact that I only have 24 hours in my day and I'm just not having enough time to be able to really engage in a deeper way with all the comments. But I do mindfully read everyone. When I say I've mindfully read it, you can count on that I mindfully read it. I really did. Integrity is very important to me, and I would not say something if it was not true. So being honest is important. Speaking truthfully is very important to me. This goes back to the activism work that I did in 2018 with Buddhist Project Sunshine, which was a huge wave of energy and action to right a wrong, to instill integrity in a situation. The situation being the Buddhist cult that I had grown up in. Numerous attempts over the decades to expose the cult had failed. And in 1 year, Buddhist Project Sunshine, the organization that I created and led, we exposed the leader as a sexual predator and really initiated an age of healing in that community. So this is why integrity is so important to me, having grown up in such a deeply corrupt community and the effort that it took to bring light to that and to initiate healing was immense. And so integrity has come to be very important to me. So just being present with what I've read. Okay, I'll just acknowledge, the occasional Trumper that lands into our community space. I mean, first of all, I'm glad that they are so happy. I can see that at least some of them are really on cloud nine around the inauguration. So on cloud nine that they're not even paying attention to the context in which they're commenting. Because, I don't think anybody here is feeling like Trump is the answer to all the world's problems. So anyway, just to acknowledge, there is that occasional Trumper that drifts in and is obviously extremely tuned out. And so, God bless them all. Let's send them some light, some violet flame. And, I think with the changes that we and other communities like us will be bringing in, it's going to allow for the dissolution of this kind of fantasy place that these people who are obviously in a lot of pain have gone into. And, I can understand when you're going through something that maybe feels like more than you can handle or deal with. Sometimes the opt-out is to go into some kind of fantasy place. And on that note, I'll even speak to some of the spiritual people in the spiritual community, even I'm not going to say even, but including some of the starseed business owners that I'm in connection with. They are spiritually bypassing this whole situation with Trump being elected. That somehow, God's hand is on Trump's shoulder. I've seen that in some of the comments, that somehow this is all part of the Earth's evolution, and that we just need to allow it to happen. This is not where I'm coming from. Yes, I think that Trump being elected is something that is prompting very hardcore, high rate evolution, and it's not going to happen just on its own. And I will also say there are a number of ways that it can happen. So there are ways that can be more massively destructive, i.e., if we just stand back and just let things unfold. I believe that will be a more painful timeline. The timeline that I'm advocating for is, let's use Trump as a wake-up call, and let's dig deep within ourselves. Let's shed our layers of trauma and stuff that we are layered with. Let's do our own work and become greater beings of light. And let us take such deep care of ourselves, such exquisite, loving care of ourselves, that our bodies and our hearts and our spirits respond by becoming bigger, more loving, more able to do things to help this world. And from that place, provide leadership and activity in the world that is going to address whatever comes up with Trump being in office. And also someone has said, that they've got way worse leadership in the UK now than Trump. And, so let us just extend this, whatever country you live in, whatever the political situation is, whatever the challenges are. This is a call to all of us to step into greater personal power, doing deeper healing so that you are more free and more fluid and more flexible and more able to be responsive, and to become more grounded. And because you're loving yourself all the more deeply, you are able to step into a place of leadership for this time of transition, transformation, and address whatever comes up. In the case of the US, what Trump brings on, get into a good place to be able to respond to that and to provide leadership and really facilitate a good way forward. Because yes, our country needs to change. Our hearts need to be healed. And it's not just the Trumper hearts. It's everybody's heart is needing to really be healed at this point. Other comments have spoken to that. It doesn't just happen magically. It happens by doing your work. For me, I do retreats and I do really deep work on my heart and my attitudes and how I see the world. I do really deep work on myself in my retreats. I'm doing consistent work out of retreat as well, but in retreat is when I'm able to really go deep and do really deep healing work and to do deep transformational work to help me step into an even deeper level of leadership and being able to help this world. So what I'm saying is that that's really what all of us are being called to do in your own way. I'm not trying to say my way is, the only way, but each of us needs to find our own way of getting into that more exquisitely aligned and loving place to be able to navigate and help to facilitate a less painful, more loving, higher timeline forward. So it's not about spiritually bypassing and say, hey, isn't this great that Trump got elected, because change is going to happen. I really am, I shake my head when I am seeing that kind of thing posted, or when I'm hearing some of my spiritual business colleagues. I shake my head because I know very well it's not about just, zooming out into the clouds and being in some place of love and light and everything's going to work out. There are times when it's pretty easy to see that we're going to need to play a part. And what part are you going to play? Are you going to be present? Are you going to show up for that part? Or are you going to just hang out on the clouds, stay in those safe places that feel love and light? So I'm getting kind of emotional here. You probably hear it in my voice. I guess I do find it a bit disturbing. But in any case, I know that this community has drawn a lot of people who have a lot of integrity. I spoke in another video about, well, it was my Monday kickoff video about how heartened I am to see that strength that has really arisen in people that I've been talking with in our community, like that warriorship that has really arisen. And the way that I see this is that the people that have really been stepping into this place of leadership that I am seeing, they have done a lot of work for many years. And maybe, at the point where they connected with me in this channel, maybe they were feeling a bit overwhelmed, a bit fragmented, frankly, probably traumatized. And so the way that I have been fostering the development in this community, these people have been able to just latch onto that and say, yes, yes, yes. And it has just really invoked a strength that they have been cultivating for years. That kind of strength of the warriorship that I'm talking about, it doesn't happen overnight. It is something that needs to be cultivated. It takes action. It takes daily action. It takes regular action. It takes when you miss a day that you come back to it the next day. Like that kind of, shall we call it mundane commitment? And I know that those people that are really standing up and really showing forth in their warriorship and their strength and their courage right now, I know that my fire just lit. It just lit what was already there, that tinder, that wood that was ready to be lit. It was already there, and they cultivated it for years. I'll have to, check in with them when I'm talking with them again to see if that's the case. But in my heart, in my bones, I know that that is true. This level of warriorship, it does not just happen, from meeting me one time. I know that. So as a community, I am encouraging us to do our work, our healing work, our spiritual practice, and really sink in and create a good routine for yourself. Be grounded. Please don't turn on the news first thing when you wake up. And God forbid, don't have an alarm that just comes on and is a radio and is playing the news. That's not the way to start a warrior's day. You really need to create your own foundation and your own space, your own bubble of peace around you before you start to engage the world so that you are not being impacted. So these are the words that are coming to mind to me today in response to what I was reading in the comments. Special shout out to Jules, and I know who you are. She's kind of like a little like honeybee going around, just spreading love and goodness, and commenting on other people's posts. Again, really appreciate the community reaching out and supporting each other, reflecting back goodness that you see in people's posts. That's developing community to do that. And as well, I really feel that presence of other people like Eleanor, that sort of really stable, strong, mother, grandmother presence that's there. Maybe doesn't speak a lot, but I know that she's there. So I guess a couple of special little shout outs for today. Thank you for what you are doing to help build community within the comment sections. And so, yeah, I think maybe I'll just close up here by saying I really hope that you are going to be coming out and joining me and us live. We've got the live program on Friday, Ground and Empower. We've got the live program on Sunday, USA Pillar of Light. These are opportunities for us to make things more real, to get out of just the comment sections and make things more real and actually be in a Zoom room together and be able to do community work together. So I highly encourage you to register. If you can't come live, just register and you will get the recording. And I am a believer in time traveling. I do believe that it's possible, even if you're not there at the time, to set the intention of being present at the time. And so you will be with us at the time that the live event happens, and you will also get to participate and to benefit from these live programs. They're both really good live programs. I've been spending hours and hours preparing for them. And I really believe that it's going to be a beautiful way for us to come together 2 times as a community before Trump's inauguration on Monday. And then I am opening up my calendar for the week of the 20th. Really going to prioritize creating space to have one-on-one calls with people. So I'll look forward to connecting with many of you on the one-on-one calls the week of the 20th as well. So I am sending much love. This will be the last video I post for this week. So please receive the love that I am sending with this video. And I look forward to seeing you in one or perhaps both of the live programs this weekend. Okay, bye.